So we are just gonna be stretching a little bit today. I haven't stretched today. You're gonna see like I haven't warmed up today either. These are gonna be a series of videos. You know, there might be some people down the line who are interested in doing it and helping me filming or playing a role, acting, doing the stretches. I want certain people though that could do it. Anyways, amongst those lines, I'm going to be doing it, getting it done either way. And here we go. Like I said, I'm going to start stretching. I'm going to show you how to stretch. This is going to be like a series. Maybe I'll label it some way you know. Of course, there's going to be things we go over, and maybe adjustments made to the video, and things among those lines. More than so, it's going to be one shot like all my videos are. And I do have stretching tips I want to even go over before I even start, but I'll just go over them now, and I'm going to stretch as I go. I only do basic stretches, the most fundamental stretches, the best stretches for you, in my opinion, and, you know, it's pretty simple. This is nothing complex. This is basics 101. You can do them with me. You know, of course, we're going to switch things up and do different stretches, but they're all basic and fundamentals. I don't like complexity. I like things that are, you know, sweet and simple and that get results. You know, if you're not getting results, then don't do the stretch. And that's all I have to say, really. The only other thing I would have to say is, you know, I think I've worked out every day my entire life. Up until in my recent years, I've stopped working out every day. I used to pretty much work out all my entire life. So no one knows more discipline than me. I know pretty much the most discipline when it comes to it. And especially when it comes to working out, I know what exercise are the best exercises. I know what stretches are the best. Where I'm getting at is I worked out my whole life and I've never really stretched. Lo and behold, you should stretch before you even start working out. Listen to this. Anybody can gain muscle. You see people, especially males, but even females for the most part, it's so easy to gain muscle. It's so easy to gain muscle. It's not easy being flexible. In fact, it's people who are really big, they can't move around. You don't want it unless you want to be really big. I don't like people that are really big. I don't have nothing against them. Some people are genetically, their their gnomes is just set up that way. So some people are all built differently. Some people can't do certain stretches to a certain extent, but I believe we all should be flexible because flexible is more than working out. It's definitely more than working out. It's way better than working out. Way better than working out. I think I think you need to do both. But stretching is way higher than pretty much anything. Stretching's so beneficial, no one really does it, so that's why I'm here to do it. Of course, there's people online, especially YouTube, who do it, and there's obviously gymnastics people who do stretch. But I'm going to give you the best stretches, the way I learn, and like I said, I worked out all my life, so now I'm stretching and doing less than working out. But stretching is way beneficial. I don't recommend anybody working out, as in lifting weights or anything, calisthenics or anything, maybe running or jogging, even that for short periods of time until you start stretching. Because if you look at every baby and every animal, their flexibility is 100%, you know, especially a baby's and a newborn animal. And even animals though, they're all flexible. You know, they don't lift weights or anything. So I'm not saying lifting weights are bad, I'm not downgrading that, but I think everyone should be 100% flexible before you should start working out. I understand how things are and how things are progressing. I get it. No one's going to be 100% flexible until they dive into it. But I do believe you should start stretching before you should start working out. All day, any day. I mean, you don't have to live by that motto, but just know I worked out probably more than anybody, and I worked out every day my whole entire life. So trying to tell me something when it comes to that, it's just not. I know what I feel, and that's where I'm just basing everything. This is where the whole everything is based off of how I feel, and I know what's best, even the best workouts, which are simplistic workouts. And I don't know, you know what I mean? So here we go. We're about to dive into the stretches. I don't know how I'm going to construct this video But I just wanted to go with that disclaimer. I'm going to bring that a better approach when I get into it. But right now, we're going to focus on stretching. We are going to do the best stretches right now. The only stretches you need to do, basically. And then there's little ones you can work on. Everybody can like other stretches more than others. I'm not holding poses necessarily, but I know in yoga, they call every stretch this thing. Every stretch is called something. I'm from Western culture and I stretch. So I realize the benefits of stretching. I understand why people do yoga. I'm not going to disagree to agree with yoga, whether it's science or philosophical or what energy you want to talk about. I'm talking about how I feel. And of course, all this stuff has some specific names, other religions and cultures and texts. I am just giving you which ways I learned and what I do and what's the best, because I've done yoga poses before. I've done a lot of things and I haven't got real into it, and I don't believe in breathing exercises. For me, I believe in actual movement, and I don't really believe it's not that I don't believe in it, just doesn't, this is just my thoughts I'm articulating. And yoga, I understand where it's coming from, but I believe it's just like, I believe you should work on something fundamental before you start holding an actual stance. Because it's just, unless you want to hold that stance and really get in yoga, because yoga is kind of like a stance thing. I'm stretching, whether it's a stance or not. I'm going to be stretching. I just really want to dignify that, because I'm not going to be holding downward dog at all. I don't like holding downward dog, and I don't find it beneficial to hold a pose when you can work on getting to your pose. I'm very hitting the basics. If you want to do a split, this is the best way to do it. If you want to be flexible, this is the way to do it. Don't listen to all that other shenanigans. I'm a person who's not really flexible, worked out all my life and never stretched. Now, of course, every time you work out, you're going to have to stretch more and more and more, especially if you're long running and doing long endurance things. You're going to end up stretching more, unless it doesn't acquire a lot of muscle, whatever you're doing, which is low intensity workouts at this point. And I hope no fucking calls. But, yeah, because I'm shooting off my phone. And we're just hitting the basics, the easy, super easy, 1, 2, 3. My phone is recording, like I just said, so I cannot put the timer on the phone. I hold my stretches for 2 minutes. Usually when I'm getting in a stretch, I just hold it for a super long time. I don't even necessarily count how long I do it. But since we're getting into this, more demographics, more focused things, I'm probably going to get more aligned with something else. And so the very first stretch, you know what I mean, that the best stretch everybody should do, because they sit down way too much, is your hips. And it's super easy. You just go like this. I'm gonna go all the way back. I can back here, and you just fold forward. I've not warmed up. My expansion will go, but I just want to bring this against the wall, just because I don't know where the camera's at. No one's helping me with this. And then I'm just gonna hold it for 2 minutes. I always set a timer for 2 minutes, because I feel like 2 minutes is efficient, and it lets me know if I'm falling off or I need to dive deeper into the stretch. So we just started. I got a little clock. Obviously you can't see it. It's not a timer, but I'm looking at it, and it's a pretty cool clock. But we started at it. You can hold your stretch for 30 seconds if you would like to. I don't ever hold a stretch for 30 seconds. I feel like that's not even worth the time. If you're going to stretch, put time into it, because it's going to be worthless. I don't just go, okay, I'm good. No, you have to hold the stretch. Hold the stretch for long periods of time. I've held this stretch for hours. I can tell you this right now. And I'm not even all the way out here yet. Now, this is going to be the most beneficial stretch. I don't think any stretch is better than this. I don't think. Now, you can say every stretch has their own thing. This is the best stretch. There's no stretch that everyone needs to work on this stretch, and it's so easy to do. It's so easy. You know what I mean? and you work both your legs on this one. I'm actually not the biggest fan of stretching both things at one time, but when we come to a fundamental stretch like this and keep going, we're good. You just feel till you feel that tension. If you can't go too hard, then don't go too hard. Go lighter. Just sit there. Or watch a fucking YouTube video. Read a freaking book, something in front of you. Talk to someone. I love talking to people, though I never talk to people and stretch. I'm usually by myself. But anything to distract you from the pain is going to get you through it. When we get to my the inner sides, of my thigh and stretching, I'm a little bit better because I've held a stretch for a long time there. Plenty of times, really distracted myself. I think a key thing, we're coming up here in 2 minutes. There's 10 seconds left, I'm pretty sure, because I don't think that was 1 minute. But we'll let this stretch go for 4 minutes, so we're in 2 minutes already. Now, to get a better grip of this stretch, if you're like me and you want to get a better grip. Now, this is kind of why I shot the video in a way like this, but I'm going to have to move the clock right here. You don't always have to lay down. Standing up straight's fine too. You just go against something, and I just started doing this recently, and then you can really feel a stretch, and you have to do less, and you get more. So it's really beneficial. Yeah, I know there's not music or anything. I was going to have like a little bit of music, but fuck it. So, like, I'm feeling this stretch about a 5 to 10 fold of what I was feeling just a minute ago. Obviously, I'm going longer into the stretch. The longer you go into it, the more you're going to go into it. Don't worry if it doesn't look like you're getting anywhere automatically, because your body has to rest before you can go further. So don't think you're just going to go do it. Some people are going to be way more flexible than me. That's fine. I've worked out my whole entire life and never stretched. So I have a lot to go. But it's really beneficial. I feel like the man when I do this. And just make sure you're even, you're parallel. There's always gonna be one side that's a little bit more. You're just gonna have to just work around it. Do whatever side you feel. The other side will come into play eventually. As you can see, it looks like I'm a little further already. I don't know how much further, but and you can set the timer. If you can do a minute, I'd say a minute to 2 minutes and 30 seconds is good for one stretch. Obviously, we're moving on to 6 minutes now. I've held this stretch basically, and we're going on to 8. Now, I'm not going to shoot every stretch I do like this, but this is the main one, so you want to do the main one the most. This is the one everyone needs to work on. I guarantee it. And it's just so easy, and it feels so good. It's so worth it. I guarantee you, anybody who's going to work out that isn't already like 100% flexible should go at least 75% flexible, unless you really want to work out or something. Should go and stretch instead of working out. You can obviously, if there's more room in front of you, there's a bunch of ways you could do this. You can go down deeper in there if I want to. You can go like this. But I like right here, fine, and just keep going. And then I have like a guideline, basically. Usually if I'm not feeling good, because I wasn't feeling good, I would distract myself from holding the stretch. But now I'm kind of like, in a way, distracting myself. It's not as bad right now, but when you get deeper into the stretch and hold it for longer, or if you're really tired, not feeling good, or just not used to stretching in general, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. Stretching is probably the most rewardable thing that I've ever done, but we're not supposed to be that tense and stiff. But let me go on. It's the most rewarding thing I've done that probably causes the most pain or stress on the body. It's good stress. Whereas we talk about working out, that's more like a mental thing to me. Just going and doing it, and it's because it's more of a mental. It's not even like a physical, because you gotta have will to do it. You gotta have will to do this too, but it's different. And once you start doing it, you'll want to do it more and more. In fact, why I like doing my stretches so long is because once I get in a stretch, I don't even want to stop, whether I'm hungry, thirsty, or whatever it is. I'm just recovering, so I haven't got to do my stretching as much as I want to, but I'm gonna I'm focused on stretching, as you can tell. So I'm pretty sure that was 2 minutes. Now we are 8 minutes in this stretch. You can do other stretches, which we're gonna do. You don't have to hold this stretch for 8 minutes like I did, but it's very beneficial if you do. And if you want to follow along, you could do that. Exactly. I'm not about following the breath, especially because I'm speaking. I got my own breath. I don't need to follow my breath. I am hungry though, so yeah. And like I said, keep going deeper into this every time. This is the main stretch. Maybe we'll just do this for the whole video. All the stretches that I'm doing are very basic, very simplistic, and anybody can do to some extent. So I think we're 9 minutes in on this stretch. I haven't stretched today, remember that. So other stretches we're gonna get to, and I hold all my stretches for 2 minutes. Heads, holding the head to one side, backward. Well, I usually hold it to side and then turn it around. We'll get there in 1 second. Obviously, I'm doing another stretch. I want to go over some more fundamentals, like a whole body. I like hitting the whole body. I don't always hit the whole body, but when I hit a body part, I usually hit that for a real good time. I don't necessarily, I'm not really a routine type of person necessarily, but I don't like doing things specifically, but sometimes I do, you know what I mean? It's just kind of random how I go about my things. I don't like being all groggy and foggy and something along those lines when I'm doing my workout. All right, there's 10 minutes in. And even if you're tired, this is a workout. Like, trust me, this is a workout too. You will lose energy doing this. You are gonna lose energy doing this. You are gonna lose energy. This is tiring and stressful to the body, but it's also beneficial. You're gonna feel more sore than probably any workout you ever do. I don't get sore from workouts, I get sore from stretching. Unless it's a workout I haven't done in a while. Okay, so we move on. We're about to hit 11 minutes in this stretch. Like I said, obviously you see how I reversed it. I like doing this more. It's more pliable, fundamental, and fun. I have tight knees too, but if you keep stretching it, my whole body changed ever since I really started stretching. And this is why I'm promoting it. I highly recommend, I don't recommend anything else other than stretching as of right now. Sorry that I'm not talking to the camera directly. Okay, so we're at 11 minutes in. Just repositioning ourselves. Maybe put the clock down here. This beautiful little clock. But I have a feeling once I get up more into the stretch, the easier it will become. But who knows? It could be harder. Because I can tell you it has gotten harder. But until you get to like a certain point where you can actually move your hips, till you get into that groove. But I feel so much better. Not even from this stretch necessarily, but from this stretch too. It all depends on what your hard spot is, but everyone needs to stretch their legs. Another good one is shoulders. So we're moving up to 12 minutes, like I said. We can always come back to this stretch. I'll probably do it for another 2 minutes. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, this is pretty easy because I distracted myself. I haven't also stretched today, but it's just pretty easy other than the fact that I'm hungry and kind of thirsty. But, you know what I mean? And we're rocking. We rolled through 12 minutes of just holding one stretch, basically. Not even coming out of it. Really beneficial to the body. In fact, your body is your only thing you have that creates the distance or the illusion of, because your body carries your mind too, creates the illusion from the world. Okay, we're moving in 15 seconds to get we'll be holding this stretch for 13 minutes. You do want to breathe. Don't ever hold your breath in. You want to let go, release. This is all release. But I can understand why some people could hold in their breath. Just don't try to do that. Other than that, you just let your breath go. You don't need to follow it. Just as long as you feel the stretch. I'm all about feeling. If you don't feel it, don't do it. Alright, so we're about 20 seconds away from 14 minutes. I'm probably going to do this for another 2 minutes for the sake of me. So here we go. We're 14 minutes in. And if you don't want to stretch all day, that's fine. You don't have to. But you should at least dedicate an hour to 2 hours every day. Or maybe just one day, a whole day, where you stretch all your whole body. Because obviously we're just stretching one part right now, but this is one of the biggest parts of your body to stretch. It's going to require the most attention. See, I don't like going into a split until I can feel everything. Like, I got the full range of motion. I don't want to go into like a little split. Not saying there's nothing wrong with a little split or anything, but that's the whole thing. I don't want to hold a pose to get deeper into the pose. I mean, I guess that doesn't sound too bad, but when I'm stretching, I'm not looking to hold, I'm stretching to increase flexibility to get to a spot. I guess that's kind of what yoga is when it holds some of the poses, but yeah, whatever. You get what I'm saying. All right, so we're 15 minutes in. Like I said, the wall is very beneficial. You can do it without a wall. "15 seconds and we're coming up on 16 minutes. So I'll come around, I'll come out of this. And I did not warm up or anything. You don't have to warm up. Everyone says you always have to warm up for your stretching. If you like to, then go ahead. I warm up basically by stretching. Like, stretching is my warm up, how I see it. So we'll go in, we'll forward a little bit. I can actually go forward to me, which seems a lot. But my legs, that's why I like using the wall, because I really get that opening. So I'm pretty sure this will be like 17 minutes in. We'll just do a full 20 of this. See, I feel like my flexibility has increased since I started, because I wasn't warmed up, and there is a little bit that kind of loosens up, I've noticed. And I've just noticed, like, right here, pretty much. Just trying to get the angle and everything. The parts that are tight are, like, right here on your leg, and definitely it's going to be right back here. I know this is the major muscle. There's also one behind there, and there's a couple, really. But these are the bigger ones. We're in 17 minutes. We got 30 seconds to lift off on 18, and then we'll go for another 2. And we got this muscle back here, the hip flexor. This is kind of like the groin, the hamstring, and your inside hip. It's just basically your hips, and you have your front, back, and side of your hip, I guess. See, I necessarily don't feel as much as here. That's why I like going on the wall. But for the sake of that right there, we'll just show you what it looked like again. We'll go back for the last 2 right here. And that's another thing I like about stretching, is you can go in it and out of it anytime. Like, you can do it as long as you want, whenever you want. You could just do a couple stretches, you could do it forever. And I just like, once I get going, I don't like to stop. I just like to keep going until it's fucking done. But you can do it any way you like. I might have some people featuring on this channel, but in different ways too, but more for stretching. There's this girl who said she wants to get involved. There's this guy who wants to get involved. Now, how this is all going to go down, I don't know, but it'd be nice to have another person and have the opportunity to work with someone, especially someone highly energetic, to just help me with things like this when it comes, because I'm doing it by myself, recording it by myself, and which is fine, but it's also funner and more intuitive and just better to build connection and have other people and switch things up, see different other people's range of motion, how other people do things and stretch and how their body is. Okay, so I think we're, I don't know if that was a minute, but it probably was, seeing how time goes. Yeah, so we only have a minute left and we hold this stretch for 20 minutes but I'm gonna go and do it 1 extra minute after we hold this, so that'll be a full 21. And look how look how fast that went back, quarantine, she's corny. But yeah, so that'll be like 20 minutes, but we'll do it for an extra one just because. One last stretch for extra minutes, so we're at 20 minutes. 3, 2, 1, and we'll hold this for 21. One of the reasons I agree with flexibility is because flexibility is more than a physical thing. But if you get the physical thing, your mind, mentality, and life will be flexible. Your energy is, your spirit will be flexible. A lot of people don't, a lot of people know stretching is good. They don't know how good, because you don't know until you know, and you don't know until you actually do it. So here we go. We're coming up 30 seconds, 21 minutes. You can use your hands for back support. Really get your hands up there. You can lean forward if you feel so far. I like that I got the window seal here. I like to feel a line. I like to get deep. Readjust my legs, see where we can go. I'm just gonna do 22. So we're 21 minutes in. And if you do like these videos, let me know if you like just going in on one part really hard, or you like a full dynamic thing, or a combination of both. See, I'm not the most flexible person, but I want to be, so I'll have that mentality, and it's just all works to go. In fact, most of your flexibility is going to increase after you do it, and when you're not doing it during the resting periods is when you're going to see the most growth, I would say. And then you're, other things like just thinking about you wanting to do something, even if it's the wrong picture you put into your head of holding a stretch, your body makes neurological connections to make that. So even I could be sitting in my mind holding the stretch and I could be gaining some. Now, how far does that go? I don't know exactly, but I do that, and I've noticed it not some other time when I wasn't stretching. I mean, it works all the time, but it doesn't just have to do with stretching. The whole certain things. So we'll do a quick upper body thing with just this intermission between. Just hold it sideways for 2 minutes. Don't stress anything. You can hold your head if you want a little more pressure. I prefer just to go like this. I love stretching the neck, especially people who don't use their neck a lot. If you want to follow your breath, I guess you could. 30 seconds into the stretch. And if you see as we're going to progress, we're going to do 2 minutes to the side. I feel like people's the tightest on the side, so these are all fundamental and what I recommend the best for. You go to the side, and and then you go to the other side, and then we look to the back, and then we look to the back. So it's going to be 8-minute just the head. You will feel better, definitely, all around. Like, this is positive. There's nothing negative. You're not doing nothing negative. You're not wasting time. And you can do two things at once, such as me making this video, or perhaps me watching a YouTube video. Listen to music. Whether I'm totally evolved or not is not the question. It's me holding the stretch and feeling it. Now, this stretch, I do this stretch a lot. I have done this a lot. So, you know what I mean? It's you just want to keep your shoulders very down. You just want to twist your neck, hands down, you know, not all the way back here, shoulders in front, somewhere up here you're resting, wherever you like. We're ordered there. So we're coming up with 15 seconds on 2 minutes, holding one stretch to the side. We will then flip to the other side. This stretch is great for people who, all these neck stretches are good for people who look at a lot of computers, their phone. I don't usually look down and hold my neck down, though sometimes I will go up and look up, because I usually look down at the ground for a lot of things and for my phone and just a lot of things in general. I don't usually look up at too many things. Whether that's symbolical or not, I don't know, but I do look up, so I do hold stretches sometimes up. I do look up. Some people never look at the sky, the beautiful sky, and the trees, in nature, especially the night sky. The night sky is just, it's so dimming, yet so spontaneous. And so yeah, just hold this. You don't, like I said, you don't have to hold it for 2 minutes necessarily, but there's people who like to go and twist their neck around and twist their neck around and twist their neck around and let's go clockwise, let's go clockwise. This is the same thing, but 100 times better, because you're holding something and creating energy. It's different. Just like moving your hips. That's why I don't agree with like people doing like range of motion doesn't matter really, because I'm building my range of motion as I'm holding stagnant stretching. You don't need stretching mobility. You don't need to move your arm up and down. You need to stretch your arm in one position. I hope that understands and resonates, because this is valuable information. I don't agree with mobility, because that comes with the flexibility. My neck can move better for me holding the stretch. I don't know if this is a minute in or 2 minutes in, but I'm guessing we're coming up on 2 minutes here. Like, my neck moves better. I don't do this. Like, some people do this as a thing. Okay, so my next one, I'm not going to be looking at the camera. I'm going to be turning around, sitting straight perfectly, going as far as I can. And I can't really see the clock right there, so we're going to have to put it over here. We'll just start at the 6. You can cross your legs, sit however you want. The best part about this is I'm getting the stretch. I'm also getting to help other people, which is like perfect. It's what I plan to do with a lot of my media and content I'm coming out with. It's just me filming some things gets hard, because not necessarily filming, but me filming, being in the video and doing other stuff on the phone. I run a lot of things through my phone, so it's hard to play music. I can't play music and record off my phone, and then it's usually a one-man band at certain points when I want to do stuff. It'd be better if someone walked around and recorded me. It'd be easier. But then again, who knows? You know, maybe this is all the fun. This is all spite for it. But I would definitely welcome a helping hand, and I love I'm not usually a technological guy, you know, I'm doing this out of spite almost, or it seems, but I'm doing this for everybody. I know this will reach people, so that's why I'm doing it. We're a minute in, we have 45 seconds about left of holding this stretch, and I just, you know, want to be genuine. I want to give you the best stuff, whether I can't reach, you know, because I can't go into, I mean, I could, but it's not my dream necessarily. This is my dream, so this is why I'm doing it. And people working with me, I love working in person with people. I love connecting with people. You know, whether it's over the internet and real life, they both have their ups and downs and things amongst those lines. I can talk to somebody across the hold on globe. Meanwhile, if I'm in real life, I can only talk to the people in my area, which is fine. And I kind of like that. Okay, so 5, you don't want to move, you just want to keep folding into the stretch a little bit longer. Keep your arms down. Here we go. We're coming out of this. We're going to turn your other side around. You can do these stretches anywhere. You can do these stretches standing or sitting up. Here we go. Just to make sure, give this a fair. Now, obviously, I can't see the clock, so I'm just going to adjust myself. So we'll start at 11 right there. I feel it all right here. One side is always going to be tighter than the other side. Obviously, you're going to look way. You'll feel better after this. And when you stretch, especially like stuff like this, you'll use both your sides more. So this is 8 minutes. And we held the other stretch. This is going to be a 30-minute stretch video. Obviously, it's going to be longer because I was yipper yapper at the beginning. Coming up here for 1 minute. Keep your head straight, shoulders down, relax, let the tension go. Feel the tension, feel into it. If anything comes up, I guess just let that shit go. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think below, what you would like to see, what hurts you. I guarantee anybody with skeletal issues or back issues can definitely fix it. I believe in fixing anything. Okay, so we're coming up here. We're about to be at 30 seconds here shortly. And just always, whatever stretch you do, always try to create some more tension once it loosens up. If you can't go any further, hold it there fucking ever until you can go further. Or take a break and get back at it. Okay, we're coming up here. 15 seconds. I feel it all here. I felt this one to the side more than I felt the other one. You can always, if you have to come out of a stretch, that's fine. Come out of it real quick and get right back in that boy. I don't want to move my shoulder. That's the whole goal. If not, is to not move your shoulder that you're using with. That's done. It's getting pretty hot up in here. So we'll just go over some other ones real quick since we're going at it. Or maybe I'll just cut it off in another video. Yeah, but those are some basics right there. I know it's kind of obscure or how I went from the hips into the head, but we can go to some other ones real quick. I'll go over them, but I'm not going to hold them for the 2 minutes as I would. But we'll just go over them real quick. And they're all fundamental, like they said. There's just this. These are the other ones I would do. You would hold it like this. Eventually, you hold it like this, but then eventually, once you don't feel it here anymore, you go down here and you'll feel it more, and you'll keep the hand like this. Both sides, obviously. There's that stretch. There's another one I do. There's like this. You just hold it for 2 minutes. Just cross your arms. You'll feel it. And then there's some other ones I guess we'll get into, but those are pretty much the upper body ones. I do have one where I lean to the side. I do this one standing up though. I can do it really good, but I do it standing up, and it's probably the most hardest one to do, but it's also the most flexible one to do. There's also the wrist you can do holding out. You can do all the standing too. Holding out like this is a good way to get the wrist in. Yeah, that's all we got for now. So yeah, stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. Thanks.